We are about to get intimate. Welcome to the 111 days of sacred scratch business. Replace it with fulfillness. RIFFS. We are talking anything that will help you reach your next level in your life's work. So today's subject is so intimate. But it's so important in your business, and I realized that it was impacting my business without me knowing it. So let me tell you about, I don't have notions of time, but 5 or 6 years ago, I was invited to my mentor, which at the time was actually, I was working for, to her wedding. And of course, who got the bouquet? The only woman who did not want the bouquet. Me. I caught the bouquet. And I was dating an amazing guy, and we'd been together, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years, I don't know. But the last thing on earth I wanted was to marry him. I don't think there was anything wrong necessarily with the relationship, but it was like, I'm not ready for that sort of commitment. And so my mind got really crazy and said, I gotta find a solution so he doesn't ask me to marry him. And so I remembered that a year back, someone had told me about a book that was about marrying yourself. So that 1 + 1, my brain says, holy shit, I'm going to take initiative. I'm going to marry myself. I'm going to buy the ring. I'm going to do it all. So this way, he's going to get that he doesn't need to marry me. And so I did. And now we are 3, 4, 5, 6 years later, because I don't have notion of time. And I realize that it wasn't really Marie marrying herself. It was Marie taking a step to prevent someone from asking him to marry her, so she wouldn't have to be uncomfortable and say, I don't want to marry you. Now, it kind of feels like I'm ashamed of saying it in a way, but it feels so beautiful to finally see it and say, okay, great, I'm divorcing this relationship right now, because this is not the type of relationship I want with myself. So I'm divorcing this type of relationship. I'm divorcing myself. And it's odd because I didn't wear my ring in the last few months, and I couldn't really understand why, because I love that ring. But here's what I want to bring you at. Where in your business are you doing that? Where are you making a decision for something because you don't want something else to happen? Let's say it again. Where are you taking action in your business in a way that is not truly the way you want to take it? Because there's something else you don't want to live. Because let's be honest, in my example, it would have been so simple. I would just have had to say, okay, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. And therefore, let me stop this relationship. Because if we have gone deeper, it doesn't change how extraordinary the person is. If a part of me didn't want to commit to him full time, I knew that that wasn't the commitment for me. But there's a part of me that was attached to something. There's something I was getting from this. Well, that I think I needed, but I didn't need, because obviously it wasn't a sacred yes, right? Like when I said, let me bring it to you this way. When I said yes to marrying myself, I thought it was a sacred yes. It was actually a yes to prevent the other option. But if I looked genuinely, is it a sacred yes because I really want to marry myself? It was like, no, I want out of a situation, and this is the solution I have found. So, and if I was to be authentic, truthful, vulnerable, honest, I would have said, oh, I just don't want to be in this relationship. And something like, and I would have taken an action related to that. But in your sacred fulfillness, you won't feel fulfilled if you're hiding parts of yourself, or you're hiding from yourself things that you, or like, there's an action I didn't want to take. I didn't want to say a sacred no. But saying a sacred no to that person is a sacred yes to my truth, is a sacred yes to my grandest love story, my most epic love story that I always talk about. So I'm inviting you today to, and that's the kind of work we do when we work one-on-one. Also, we go so much deeper into what's in the way, into like this, into your darkness, into your deepest, because of course we want to go to the dream, but there are moments where it's like you go deeper so you can emerge more empowered. And that's what we do in Sorcerous, my one-on-one. And if you've been following this series, because I talk about change all the time, 111 days of sacred fulfillness started with me telling you about my one-on-one. Maybe I called it unfailing, maybe I called it free soul, which all are truth parts of my one-on-one, which now extended into a sorceress energy, you being the source, you being the fullness of who you are. And that includes you being unfailing, that includes you being the free soul that you are. But see, there's these iterations along the way. All this to come back to, I didn't need to divorce unfailing and free soul. They feel true. But there's a truer energy in the sorceress energy that encompasses it all. So to come back to you and working with I want to say the truth, but it's not your truth. It's working with, let me come back to the word. It's working with your twangs. The things that, like, not the triggers, but triggers are kind of annoying. I don't want to be triggered, but a twang is kind of like, doesn't have the same flavor. It kind of like, oh, it's a twang. But those twangs, everything that is a twang, like it was a twang for me that he would maybe propose. So I made it very clear in the energetics when I said, oh, I married myself. And I actually recommitted to my wedding vows, but they were again me. And you see, I could see like I was lying. There was like a part of me that was like, I'm recommitting, but it's not truly to myself. And so now I'm excited because there's a part of me that's like, holy shit, I'm gonna get to marry myself this time. And it's gonna be true, it's gonna be genuine, it's gonna be real, and there's nothing in the way. It's gonna be pure. That's what I'm inviting you in right now. Is there places in your business? Is there places in your fulfillment? Is there places in your life where you are not true, where you are not pure in your decision, and it's to prevent something? It's to make sure something else doesn't happen. It's to protect yourself. Because saying yes to getting married could have been to protect myself also. It's not always saying no to something. It could be like, I said yes to protect myself. I said yes to not look a certain way, right? So you got like reflection here. I'm excited for you, and I can't wait to see what comes up for you.